This should be some of the most powerful advice that I ever give on any of my channels. Advice for new agents starting off in the industry. What are some things you need to avoid and some pieces that you really need to hunker down and focus on? One of the things that I am going to put right at the top of this list is find your blinders. Think of the horses in the old days, especially if you I'll go to Mackinac Island. Apart from us making our little drinks, we go to Mackinac Island in Michigan. And when you go to Mackinac Island, they have these blinders that go on horses' eyes so they can't see out of their peripheral vision. That's one of the things that most insurance agents don't learn to do is focus on one specific direction. Like I mentioned in my last video, if you want to be unsuccessful, go buy a Ferrari, blindfold yourself, and step on the gas and try to get somewhere. It's impossible. You're just going to burn yourself out or run out of gas or hit a wall. Those things are more likely to happen if you don't have a direction. Number one piece is make sure that you have blinders that you can really focus on where you want to go in the industry. That follows into the second part, which is to create an action plan. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth in this because I literally just made another video that goes through my action plan and how I would set up an action plan. I'm going to link that video at the end of this video so that way you can go back to it and watch it. The third piece is that, not necessarily from experience, just from other people's knowledge. I know I've been successful on just putting the blinders on and focusing on what I need to control to make myself successful. I got really good at talking to people over the phone. I got good at understanding the insurance coverage. I did a lot of research on different companies, so I know my competition. I know exactly how to have a conversation with someone that's in their benefit. And if I can find a fit for me to be in that benefit, then I know how to bring them along that path. That's part of the video that goes, the first part of the video that goes over before the action plan. But I was supposed to say find your niche. And I honestly have never found a niche. I guess P&C, home auto, I don't know. Niche would be auto or home and auto or whatever the case is. The one thing I will probably not do in my future, and I don't recommend anyone does when I talk to them, is don't overwhelm yourself with all these endorsements and these add-on community college type stuff for extra licenses. If you're in sales and you're going to do home and auto, focus on home and auto first. If you want to, in the future, get more knowledge in that space, then great, go ahead. But if you just want to focus on income and you want to be successful, then what you are going to want to do is just stick to what you're good at. I personally don't sell commercial lines. I personally don't sell life insurance or health insurance, mainly because I'm really good at explaining home, auto, umbrella, boats, motorcycle, those stuff, the property and casualty, the personal lines. And that's really been my focus for the majority of my career. Now, I've got other agents that are licensed in both, but I can't honestly see them going beyond home, auto, and commercial to where they're not going to lose their mind. There is too much to learn, too many companies, and too many options when you're independent. If you're working for a direct company, that's a little bit different of a story because now you only need to learn one product. And that one product across maybe one or two states, and maybe now you can learn home, auto, life, health, and all those other options. In case you're wondering, this is a little, let's see if I can get it on the camera. It's a little, my buddy and I actually make these. It's basically like a shot with apple cider. We cook it with some other ingredients and we put cinnamon sticks and sugar and it's awesome. And no, the answer is not to drink your problems away. I almost never drink, but these are little fun little things that we do every once in a while. But that does help us understand the fourth piece, which is technically your mentor will tell you to throw the alcohol away. But you need to find other advice. And you don't necessarily have to go hire somebody. There's a ton of videos here on YouTube. You can watch mine, you can watch some of the other agents and apply what you think is a good fit. The one caveat that I would say be careful of is a lot of different opinions. The way I run my agency or I run myself is different than another agent might run theirs. So there's a lot of good advice out there, but you really got to pick one and you got to go with it. You got to take that mentorship that you found online and find a way for you to do the blinders up and go down that road because you're not going to be successful jumping from piece to piece. An add-on to that is to also do any type of trainings. If you can get in front of free trainings or even some paid ones that you can afford and put into an investment into yourself, Learn from others who have done well, but also mingle. Find other people that are doing similar to you. Not necessarily competition, but it helps each other grow, that you can find things that somebody's doing in your area that might help you grow, where you may be doing something good that might help them grow. And that is a warning, because the fifth piece is a do not. Do not be everything to everyone. One thing I find myself struggling even today, because there's a ton of stuff I want to do and there's not enough money or time to do it all. And I find myself being short with some things that could be successful, but we'll never know because I'm too focused on moving on to the next thing. That's telling me that my blinders aren't up in those scenarios. Don't focus too much on your CRM. Don't focus too much on your technology. Yes, should you focus a little bit on that, which we'll talk about in a moment? Absolutely. You should build a system that helps you propel forward faster, but don't spend all of your time going to trainings, going to meetings, talking with people, where at the end of the day, your only goal is to sell policies. If you're an insurance agent trying to make a career, then you need to focus on that first. And that technically leads into number 6, where even when you're talking to customers, know what your time's worth. There is a lot of people out there that need insurance, but most of them are difficult to get in front of. Friends and family, a little bit easier. They're willing to help you, especially if you're new in your career. But as you grow and you start talking with other people out there, it's not hard to just start up a conversation. I personally freak out if you ask me to go into a store and find somebody that I can sell insurance to. I wouldn't know what to do. I'm not that guy. I buy leads. I make videos that help people with content. I help friends and family with different things. I've created an actual program with my partner to where we connect with center of influences. So we utilize each other's assets to make us stronger together. There's other ways that we can add value outside of just going up to someone and having a conversation. Now, if you are the type that can have the conversation, you will do better than I personally can, partially because it doesn't cost you anything. And 2, you can take that money and reinvest it to do things that help you propel that faster. That being said, you're going to quickly learn what customers you do and don't want to work with. If you haven't already created a profile of your perfect scenario, you should do that. Who is the person that you want to sell insurance to? How old are they? What is their income? What does their life look like? What do they do on their downtime? That type of person, like you should have somebody that you know that you're going to focus on. And that's kind of knowing that niche portion to where you're going to go for insurance. Who is your perfect person? If they don't fall around or within those guidelines, then don't invest too much of your time. Now, I get it. Most and almost every insurance agent I've ever trained has always sold anything they can think of. Now, there was a lot of regret in most of those cases because now that customer, if you're dealing with, has a problem coming to you. Not saying that they're a bad person, but a lot of times if they're having trouble paying a bill, you'll notice they have had that with 2 or 3 or 4 different companies in the last several years. You're not the exception. You're going to likely be the person that follows the rule, where they have a ton of more issues, and you've got to fix those issues and try to deal with it before you either fix them or completely give up. So the amount of time that you're giving to certain people might actually take more of the time than you think it will. Now, there are going to be situations where you will write that. I'm just as guilty in that situation too. Honestly, most of my calls are based off of attitude. If they have a good attitude, they're willing to listen to what I have to say, and they want to learn more. That's really my main categories that I'm focusing on. I don't care if they missed a bill or if something like that happened. Now, if they have 7 tickets, 2 accidents, and they have had no insurance for the last 2 months, obviously I'm going to point them in a different direction. There are a lot of companies that are good fits for those, but my type or personal preference for the perfect profile of a customer doesn't fit that mold. And that actually skips the 7th one that I was going to tell you, but that'll go right into the 8th piece, which is sell off of coverage, not off of price. That's going to be tough to do with some people, and that's the first thing you're going to naturally want to do. Base what you have to what I can give you. Great. It's easy. A customer literally will sit down with their policy right on the phone and read you what coverage they have. It makes your job simple. But keep this in mind. If you sell on price and they buy, they like you a little bit, right? But they purchase. You're $20 a month cheaper and you fit what their problem was. What do you think is going to happen when somebody like me calls them up and gives them another $20 off? They're not going to stay with you. What do you think is going to happen when the economy, which right now is going crazy, inflation's happening, all of insurance is going to go up about 10% across the board. Doesn't matter what company you're with. Look at Allstate right now. They're going crazy. They literally in one state went up almost 40%. There's another company that went up 80% in a certain state. You're never going to keep those customers, by the way. If a company goes up 80%, you're pretty much done. You better find enough companies to offset that. But if that happens, and there's about a 10% increase, that's really the level where I personally have seen customers will still stick with you versus whether they want you to reshop it or they want to leave for another company. If you've built enough rapport with them and you've shown them that you're there for them and focus on coverage, focus on their needs, not just what you think they should carry, but what they're interested in, then they're more likely going to stay with you, because finding someone that actually cares is a lot harder to do than finding a really good price. Number 7 is to focus on yourself. Compete with yourself. Don't worry about what Bill or Sue or whoever is. If you're in that competitive zone where you get bonuses off of that, great. Then do 10 times the work like I used to. Worked 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, a couple extra hours on the Sunday if they allowed it, and crush it. You could literally double your income by working double. It's not that hard. If they allow it, then do it. But for those of you that are actually those types where you're willing to work the 14-hour days, you may want to think about being your own agent, because putting in the hours and the sweat equity alone will make you successful in most cases. And the last and 9th piece is to find a mentor. You need to find someone that is going to help you get to the next level. Sometimes a mentor doesn't necessarily have to have direct phone calls with you. It might be watching my videos online. Hopefully I've been able to help and give back as much as possible. Maybe you watch another person online or read a book that will help you understand the process that you need to take. Honestly, the only thing that I would focus right now is forget the last 6 or 7 steps that I mentioned. Step 1, know the direction that you're going. Step 2, have an action plan that will get you there. Step 3, put your blinders on. Step 4, just go do it. And then step 5, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. What are pieces that you're struggling with that you didn't see that we talked about today? I would love to find out any pieces that new agents are having that you just don't quite understand, or you think is a hurdle that is more of a wall than a hurdle to get over. What is the biggest piece that you need to focus on? Like I mentioned before, the video that will go over the action plan and a little bit more in depth on what we just mentioned here is going to be right here. Also, I'm going to put a video here for anything that you may want to learn as a new agent going forward, some tips and tricks that I've found to help me be successful. I'm Mark W. Flockhart. I'll see you soon.